When my scuba instructor checked my tank, he said, "You've been underwater for 40 minutes. This tank holds 20 minutes of air." I was 30 feet underwater when Matthew grabbed my arm and pulled me toward the surface. He ripped his regulator out the second we broke through. "How are you still breathing?" I pulled mine out, confused. "What?" He grabbed my pressure gauge, face going white. "You've been down there for 40 minutes. That tank holds 20 minutes of air." I looked at my gauge. The needle was buried in the red zone. "That's impossible. I feel fine." Matthew frantically checked my equipment, hands shaking. "You should be unconscious. You should be dead." The other students surfaced around us. "Everyone back to the boat," Matthew ordered. "Right now." On the boat, Matthew pulled me aside. "Have you been feeling lightheaded, dizzy, chest pain?" "No, I feel normal." He pulled out his phone, making calls. First the dive shop, then a medical supervisor. I heard equipment malfunction and potential liability. One student whispered loud enough for me to hear, "Do you think his tank was faulty?" Matthew hung up. "We need to test your equipment immediately. Don't touch anything." Back at the dive shop, Matthew and the owner examined my tank like a bomb. The owner placed it on a scale and his eyes narrowed immediately. "This tank weighs more than it should." He checked the valves with specialized tools, then grabbed the tank and looked at it from every angle. That's when he found it. A small sticker on the bottom. XD4500. He read aloud, his face going red. "This isn't one of our tanks." Matthew went pale. "What?" "This is an extended duration tank. 4,500 PSI. Our rental tanks are all standard 3,000 PSI aluminum." That's when I remembered. My dad helped load my gear this morning. Said he wanted everything properly secured. Matthew and the owner both looked at me. "Did he touch your tank?" "Maybe. He was messing with something near my gear bag." Matthew pulled out his phone. "What's your father's number?" I gave it to him. He dialed on speaker. My dad answered cheerfully. "Hey son, how was your first dive?" "Mr. Patterson, this is Matthew, your son's instructor." "Oh, hello. Is everything okay?" "Your son's been underwater for 40 minutes on a 20-minute tank." Silence. "Dad, I heard him breathe. Is he okay?" "He's fine. But did you modify his equipment?" Pause. "I didn't modify it. I switched it." My stomach dropped. "What?" "I gave you my tank instead of yours." Matthew leaned forward. "What kind of tank?" "Extended duration. XD4500. Holds 4,500 PSI instead of 3,000. Gives about 60 minutes at shallow depths." My body went cold. "Why would you do that?" "I looked at your tank this morning and the seal looked damaged. I didn't want it failing underwater, so I swapped it. I was going to tell you after your dive." The owner shook his head. "That explains the weight difference and the model number we found." "I didn't know." Matthew shot back. The owner's face went even redder. "So you let a student dive with an extended tank on his first cert dive?" Matthew ran his hand through his hair. "Sir, certification requires managing air on a standard tank. He passed using equipment he's not certified for. This dive doesn't count legally." "So what does that mean?" I asked. "You'll have to redo the entire certification dive with correct equipment." I laughed because the absurdity hit me. "So I do this over because Dad tried being helpful? I was keeping you safe." Dad said, sounding terrible. "You could have killed him," Matthew said. "Different tanks need different buoyancy calculations. He's lucky the weight belt I gave him happened to compensate, or he could have sunk or shot up." That shut Dad up. The owner crossed his arms. "We need to document this. I should fail him for unauthorized equipment." "He didn't know," Matthew defended me. "His father switched tanks without telling anyone." The owner looked at me. "Did you check your equipment before diving like you were taught?" I had, but I never verified which tank model. "I checked it, but didn't notice it was different." "That's on you. Part of certification is knowing your equipment." Matthew looked guilty. I should have caught it too. Uncomfortable silence. The owner spoke. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to redo your full certification dive next Saturday with standard equipment. Your father is going to pay for the repeat session since this was his mistake. And before I let either of you near our tanks again, you're both taking our equipment identification course." I nodded. "That's fair." My dad's voice came through the phone, quieter now. "I'm really sorry, son. I was just trying to help and keep you safe." "I know, Dad. But next time, tell me when you think something's wrong instead of secretly trying to fix it yourself. Deal." "I promise." Matthew looked at me. "You scared the hell out of me today, you know that?" "I'm sorry. Don't apologize, just learn from this." I did redo my certification dive the following Saturday, with the correct 3,000 PSI standard tank this time, and I passed with flying colors. My dad took the equipment identification course right alongside me. That's where he learned in explicit detail that his helping had almost caused me to get decompression sickness from improper calculations. Now he doesn't touch any of my diving gear without asking permission first, and I verify every single piece of equipment before every single dive, no matter how many times I've used it before.
No.